Charlie Kirk at New York University in New York City, United States, delivered this speech. We rewrote it so you can understand. The goal is not hate, but reflection. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Charlie Kirk. Tonight I want to speak about legacy, about the message that must continue even when one voice falls silent. And let me start with this question. If your life ended tonight, what would remain of your convictions? I have often said, and I will say again, continue saying the Bible is the way. If I am gone tomorrow, let that be the echo you carry. Psalm 91 says, I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. If those words are true, then we cannot keep them quiet. Culture wants us silent. The system wants us compliant. But silence is surrender, and surrender is death. Universities teach young people to memorize slogans, but they never teach them to face eternity. That is why we must keep repeating, the Bible is the path. The Bible is the truth. The Bible is freedom. Some will laugh at you. Some will try to cancel you. Some will threaten your future. But ask yourself, whose approval matters more, the crowd or the Creator? Jesus declared in John 14:6, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. That is not a cultural opinion. It is eternal fact. And facts do not die when people mock them. Truth does not collapse when a society rejects it. Truth remains because God remains. I imagine sometimes that my voice could be silenced. I imagine a day when headlines declare that I am gone. But if that day comes, I do not want tears. I want courage. I want you to say louder than ever, the Bible is the way. Because if one voice stops, another must rise. That is the mission of every generation. Do you remember how Israel passed the word from parents to children, from one generation to the next? Deuteronomy 6:7 says, Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. That is what legacy looks like. It is not fame, it is not applause, it is not buildings with your name. Legacy is when your children's children can still say, the Bible is the way. Psalm 91:16 declares, With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. That is not just about length of years. It is about the quality of legacy. A long life is not measured by days, but by the impact you leave behind. And the greatest impact is faith that outlives you. Tonight I ask you, will you keep repeating the truth when culture gets louder? Will you say the Bible is the way when professors call it outdated? Will you whisper it to your children at night and shout it in the face of tyranny? Because if you do, then even when voices fall silent, the mission will not end. My life does not belong to me. My reputation does not belong to me. My future does not belong to me. They belong to Christ. And so does my legacy. That is why I tell you again, continue saying the Bible is the way. Say it when it is popular. Say it when it is hated. Say it when you stand alone. Say it until your last breath. Because one day, when you stand before God, it will not matter how many followers you had. It will not matter how many degrees you earned. It will only matter if you proclaimed His word without shame. So, if tomorrow you hear that my voice is silent, let your voice grow stronger. If tomorrow culture tries to erase this truth, let your heart repeat it louder. The Bible is the way. The Bible is the path. The Bible is freedom. And that is the legacy worth living for and worth dying for. But let me go deeper because legacy is not a theory. It is a chain, and you are a link. If one link breaks, the chain weakens. The same is true for faith. If one generation stops proclaiming the word, the next generation drifts into darkness. That is why Moses commanded parents to teach diligently, why Joshua renewed the covenant, why prophets cried out against idolatry, why apostles risked their lives to carry the message. They understood that truth must travel through time, and the vehicle is people willing to speak. That includes you. What will you pass on? The world says your legacy is in diplomas, titles, or investments. But Scripture says your legacy is in the testimony you leave behind. Paul wrote to Timothy in 2 Timothy 4:7, "I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith." That is legacy, not possessions, but perseverance. When your name is forgotten, will your conviction still speak? That is the real test. I tell you, the Bible is the way, because when all philosophies collapse, when all empires fall, when all voices fade, His word remains. Heaven and earth will pass away, but His word will never pass away. That is why my voice is not important. What matters is that the echo continues. You are that echo. The student who refuses to bow to cultural lies, the mother who teaches her children to pray, the father who reads Scripture at the dinner table, the young professional who stands firm in hostile workplaces. You are the legacy. Never underestimate the power of repetition. Culture repeats lies until they sound like truth. We must repeat truth until it drowns out lies. Do not say the Bible is the way once. Say it daily, hourly, constantly. Write it on your heart, on your walls, on your conversations. Make it the refrain of your life. That is how you build an unbreakable legacy. And remember, legacy is not about applause now, it is about testimony later. Noah built an ark for a world that mocked him, but his obedience saved generations. Abraham trusted promises he would never fully see, but his faith founded nations. Legacy is often invisible in the moment, but undeniable in eternity. That is what I want for you, to live with eternity in mind. If one day my name disappears, let the truth remain. If tomorrow they erase me from platforms, let them never erase the word from your lips. Because the Bible is not bound by platforms, degrees, or approval. It is eternal. Tonight I challenge you. Ask yourself what story your children will tell of you. Will they say you compromised for comfort, or will they say you stood firm for Christ? Will they whisper that you stayed silent to avoid conflict? Or will they boldly declare that you kept repeating, "The Bible is the way"? Your answer will determine your legacy. And let me remind you, courage is contagious. If one voice dares to speak, another will follow. You may think you are alone, but heaven watches, angels applaud, and others gain strength from your stand. That is legacy in motion. That is the chain unbroken. So I say again, do not let culture win. Do not let silence bury truth. Let your voice carry. Let your children hear. Let your community know. The Bible is the way. Say it when you wake up, when you walk to class, when you work late hours, when you face ridicule. Say it when fear whispers that you should stop. Say it when the world screams that you are wrong. Because truth does not need majority approval, only faithful witnesses. And you are called to be one. So tonight, choose your legacy. Choose courage over silence. Choose faith over fear. Choose to keep the chain unbroken. And if tomorrow my voice is gone, let yours rise stronger. If headlines declare my silence, let your conviction declare His truth. Because legacy is not about me, it is about Him. And the greatest legacy you can leave is this: the Bible is the way, the truth, the life, and the freedom that no culture, no system, and no silence can erase.